roll over till it starts. So there's no point sort of adding that anxiety to it. But he trained well this morning, and the group trained well, and he was part of that. So focus is on Sunday, and then obviously post Sunday we'll kind of we'll probably have a longer chat with him and sort of address where he's at.
Just finally on Arsenal, one of the standout aspects of their game is their defensive record. You're obviously coming to a new club, or relatively in the last year, with a lot of new signings, and you play very attacking football. But do you anticipate over the coming weeks and months this season that the defensive record will improve over more time?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've been terrible defensively so far this year. I mean, we've conceded 3 goals and but limited the opposition to fairly few chances. I think we'd almost be top of the league in terms of chances created by opposition. So defensively, I think we've been okay. We've just had a couple of lapses, obviously, but it's the nature of football, mate. If you're going to be more attacking, you're going to have more gaps the other way. I mean, I get it. People say, we want you to be more attacking, but we want you really solid defensively. So we're talking about perfection. That doesn't exist with anyone. So we're erring on the side of being more attacking, aggressive, which is going to mean we maybe concede more than others, but that's fine. I'm comfortable in that space. The key to that is to score more goals than the opposition, which we haven't done so far.
Jason? Just going back to that game against City, obviously your frustrations are very understandable in the atmosphere and so on, but now you're playing Arsenal rather than trying to stop Arsenal. How much pressure did that put onto you now get a good result? All the fans are looking at it thinking, come on, they'll be playing Arsenal, go and beat them. And also, how do you reflect upon those comments now? I know you mentioned it a little bit before, but how do you reflect upon them now?
Yeah, I don't feel any more pressure, because I felt the same pressure in that game. I want to win every game. It doesn't change for me. I don't care. I don't care who I'm playing, mate. Let's go out there and play each other. I'm going to want to beat you. I may not, but I'm going to want to. No, I don't know. You look pretty solid to me, and a bit more fit. So, but I just want to win, mate. It doesn't change for me. And I think the key to success is, I really would hate to think that I've got players in the dressing room who want to win this game more than any others, or prepare differently, or try harder in this game than any other, because that's not the way forward. Irrespective, we understand the significance of it, because if we do win, our supporters will be over the moon. I understand that. And if we don't win, they're going to be devastated. But if we prepare this game differently than any other, then I'm disappointed, because I want to win every time. And it's the only way you can be successful. So I make no apologies for that. I'm not going to prepare any different for this game than I did against Newcastle. I will against Coventry on Wednesday. I want to win all the time. And I want our club to win all the time. And if you do that, then when you beat your rivals in a big derby game, everyone gets excited and everyone feels great. But I want more than that. That's not what I'm after.
Do you think fans need to get over that as well, then?
No, fans can. I've said a million times, fans can feel the way they want to. It's their club. They can be as happy or as disenchanted or as optimistic or as pessimistic as they want. That's my role, is to try and give them a team that gives them hope, belief, and joy. That's it. But I'm not going to tell them how to feel, or whether if they want to win this game more than any other game, then good on them. That's up to them. But it's not me. It's not who I am.
Thank you,
Matt and Charlie. Do you feel like you could do with a big win against a big team to restore some faith in what you're trying to do?
Restore some faith with who?
Well, from the audience, the people from the outside, supporters. I'm just thinking, you had a flying start last season. Yeah. Problems in the middle, which we kind of all understand. Yeah. You haven't really won a big one since Villa, which seems like a while.
Yeah, well, we had a summer in the middle, so So look, I don't know. Look, I mean, I'm not really sure. Look, if people have lost faith, in what we're doing, then again, I cannot let that be my guide to what we're doing. My guide is what I see on a daily basis, the way we play our football, the way the team's growing, and I'm as optimistic and as bullish as I've ever been. Is it important to win big games? Absolutely, I want to win big games, but it doesn't, again, we won some big games early last year. It doesn't mean that that's going to get you to where you want to. There's got to be a consistency in approach, but I haven't. There's nothing I've seen that's made me waver in my belief about what we're doing. Now, whether that externally is reflected by people's, as you said, faith or belief, again, there's only one way we can sort of change that if people have lost faith in sort of what we're doing here, and that is to perform and win.
Do you believe in such a thing as it's like one win being bigger than another on any sort?
No, I don't, because I know that teams that win things win all the time. They don't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose. Small teams do, because that's where the only victory, true victory, relies. Yeah, because they think, well, we can't win the competition, but if we get a couple of big scalps. Mate, I was with Australia for a long time. That was the mentality, let's knock off a big gun because we can't win a World Cup. I don't subscribe to that. Winners go, you know what, who's in front of us, let's win. And that's the way I am, and that's the way I think. So I don't think one win is bigger than any other or more significant than any other.
Nick? It was 23 points, I think, between you and Arsenal last season. Only 3 places, but 23 points, which sounds like a huge number. Is it realistic to bridge that over the course of one season?
Don't know, but it's a fair reflection. I think you're right. I mean, and that's what I looked at the end of last year. As much as, we finished 5th, not far off, game off 4th, but when you look at the difference between us and the top 3, there's still a significant gap there that we need to bridge, and that's what I'm trying to bridge. And no, that won't happen quickly, but at the same time, I think we need to chip away at it if we want to, because I get it, everyone talks about final positions and if we finish 4th, that's an improvement on last year, but if we finish 4th and 25 points behind, have we really bridged the gap to where ultimately our destination is? So then no. So there is a difference between us but again, they're further down the road than us as well. We're kind of a year into it. So if we're 5 years into it or 4 years into it and we're still 20 odd points behind, then you'd kind of say, well, probably I wouldn't be here talking about it. But from my perspective, it's a gap, and that's what we've got to try and close.
And just going back quickly to the home game again in April, obviously ended up very close. First half they got away from you, and maybe once or twice you got done on the counter a bit. Is there any temptation at all to be a bit more circumspect in certain situations, or does a derby not lend itself to that?
I guess there can be, but there won't be.
Tom, Ange, no Odegaard and no Declan Rice for Arsenal, 2 huge players for them. I wonder if you see this as an opportunity.
Again, I think, God, it's a hell of a trap to fall into if you think that they're relying on just 2 players. They're 2 important players, but we were missing key players last year as well, but we still managed to have significant performances. And I think a team like Arsenal, that, like I said, have been very, very consistent over the last 2 years, I think can fill sort of whatever gaps they have. They've got still some good quality in their squad. I think the key for us, like I said, is the focus on our performance. When we play well, and we certainly have played well in the first 3 games, and a little bit more sort of clear-headed in both boxes in our work, then we're a match for any team, and that's what we've got to think about on the weekend. Not sort of, I think if you go into there thinking, they're going to be somehow weakened, I think you're going to get punished. I think we go in there thinking and believing they're going to be very strong, which I think they will be, and we've got to be at our best, but we know at our best, and playing the football we can match it with them.
I think it was around this fixture as well, there was a lot of talk about the set piece record, and I think Arsenal scored from a set piece in that game. And you said, I think, that you were always very comfortable with the record, but it gets better over time. Are you kind of more confident this season that Tottenham's record from corner and things will be better?
Well, I mean, it's the overall. It's about not just improving one area. If I thought it was just one area that we needed to fix, but as we mentioned, we were 20 odd points behind the top 2 last year. I think it's more than one area. So for us, everything, whether it's set pieces, whether it's our general game, our defensive work, our offensive work, our individual players, the quality of our squad, all of it needs to improve. Arsenal definitely are a threat at set pieces. It's something you do have to kind of be focused on, but we need to be focused on sort of all of our game, and it's not just about shutting them down in one area. It's about nullifying their strengths and more importantly for us, accentuating our strengths to overcome it.
That White tries to fiddle with Vicario's gloves again?
I don't know, well, he does, so I'm not really sure what that's the dark arts, isn't it? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, if he does, well, okay. I mean, I guess Vic can give them to him. I don't know. They can deal with it. Rock, paper, scissors, whatever it takes. I don't know. Not interested.
Okay, we'll go Dom and then finish with Paul, please.
Hi, Ange. Earlier this week, the England Indian manager Lee Carsley was sat in the chair that you're sat in now, and he was asked whether he feels his team have a responsibility to play attractive, good football, or is his responsibility just to win matches? And he said his responsibility is just results. How do you feel about that in your role?
I think we're all. I think ultimately we're all measured on results. I think that's what I guess defines a successful or unsuccessful era for all of us. So I don't think there's any surprise there. So yeah, I mean, I don't think anything Lee said would be a surprise to anybody. Irrespective of what I do, if the results aren't there, I'm sure all of you will be saying, well, you know what, it's an unsuccessful period, time for a change. So it's all about results. Now, how you get those results, that's kind of that's the secret sauce, mate, you know, that we all do it different ways. So my way's a certain way, others there isn't a way, but I do what I do because I want to get results. I want to win games of football and be successful.
Thanks. Paul? What do you think the most important factor will be for your team to one day close that gap? So is it going to be a combination of things?
Yeah, I really do, and that's not kind of, like I said, real success cannot lie in just sort of one little magical thing. I just think there needs to be more substance to it. Everything I've kind of earned in my career, I've worked damn hard for, and I haven't found an easy way to do it. If one does exist, you know, maybe somebody will, pass that on. But I just think it's a whole range of things that you need to improve because, like I said, these aren't small differences when you're kind of in the cold light of day, and you have to acknowledge that. That's the starting point. You know, if you think that there isn't a massive gap, then you kind of, I think it defeats the purpose. But that shouldn't daunt you either to think that it's insurmountable. I certainly don't think it is. I think, you know, that gap that exists between us and the top teams is we can bridge, and we can bridge very quickly if we, you know, stay disciplined, stay focused on what we're trying to do, improve our squad, improve the way we play our football, allow our group to learn to win and win on a consistent basis and what that requires. And that sometimes means missteps along the way. And so I've always felt that, you know, anything you get in this game is hard-earned. I really believe that. And for us, we're in that stage of, you know, having to earn that. And it's not going to come easy. It's going to be a challenge for us.
Do you ever point to teams like this when you play games like this and say to your players, this is the level you need to get at, these are the games where you know your biggest lessons?
Yeah, I think it's a great measure, but again, it's not just about winning, you know. And I, even though I'm kind of contradicting myself from my last answer where it is about results, because you can win a game like this and walk away going, you know what, they played us off the park in reality. I've always said, go out there against the best and perform. That's your best measure. Now, hopefully you win the game as well, because that's ultimately that's what you want to do. But if we go out there tomorrow on Sunday and dominate this game, create more chances, limit their chances, like really nullify them, I think irrespective of the result, the players walk off, go, okay, all right, next time we'll have another crack at them. And I think that's where the real kind of belief comes from. I've always felt that. So yeah, they're a good measure for us, not just in winning the game, but can we play our football against them and walk off the pitch saying, okay, we really took it to the top team and hopefully won with a convincing performance.
And despite the gap and the fact that they're further down the line in the process than you, there must be areas of your team and things that your team does that you think you do better than ours. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I don't know if we do. And again, I don't really line us up against a specific opponent. It's against the competition, and I do. I think, you know, there are certain things we're already, I think, really close to being the best in competition. I think the way we press and counter press is, I don't think there's many teams that do that as well as us at the moment. You know, the way we can sort of play through pressure, I think, is right up there as well. So there are things that against the competition that we measure ourselves where, we're in a good space. And so that gives us an area to focus on the weekend to say, well, look, if we're better than most in this area, let's really make sure we bring our A game for that part of the performance, and then hopefully the other stuff kicks in as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And sorry, I've made a quick. How long are we going to be without Richarlison?
Still a while, mate. Yeah, he's in rehab. We're going to take it a bit conservatively with him this time. Yeah. Sunday. Thank you. Thanks.